Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Thank y'all for bearing with the technical difficulties. I like my little theme song, so I'm glad that it didn't pop up with me dancing because I was getting my little dance on over here. But welcome you guys to this episode of the My Brother show. I am your host Maurice Fresh. I'm really excited about this episode. I'm really looking forward to this episode. We're having an amazing discussion, guys. An amazing discussion this episode. Thank y'all again for bearing through the technical difficulties that we had. So we're working through them. I have two amazing guests that are going to be on this episode. Two really amazing guests that'll be on this episode. I'll introduce them in a second. First and foremost, I just want to say if you want to follow on Instagram to stay in tune with the show, you see it scrolling at the bottom. You can follow us at the My Brother show. Please do that. That's how you stay in the loop with the show. That's how you get some inspirational quotes and things like that. Also, if you want to support anything that we're doing here with the show, you can send any donations on Cash App to $ my brother. Donations help. They really do. My tripod just broke, so I need to buy another tripod and um, some other things that they can really be helpful with. So, all right. So now that the housekeeping is over, I get the opportunity to introduce these amazing ladies. I actually have never had guests record in the same room, so like I'm really excited about this. It's like a first for me. Um, so this first guest, they are the owners, I guess, or the host. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for.
Host.
They are the host of. Ooh, let me see. They are the host of Shit Talk Radio. That's the name of their podcast. Um, I grew up with one of them. I actually remember the other host. She may not remember me, but I do remember her just hanging out at their house. So I'm really excited. I had an opportunity to be on their show a few weeks ago, maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And they get the opportunity to come on here now. And I think this is super dope. One of my good homies, Nari. Um, he said he wants to do like a black podcast host Avengers team where for every single subject there's like a black host that knows something about it. So I'm super duper excited um about this particular episode because I think they were really building something great here in the city of Philadelphia. So first the ladies, the hosts from Shit Talk Radio, KB and Plan'd0. KB Plan'd0. How are y'all?
We're good. I'm good. We're good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm really, really good. I really get it. I enjoy this stuff, so this is great for me, and I think the subject is amazing. Um, so yeah. Y'all can hear me good, right?
Yeah, we got you. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So look, I don't got like no real like extravagant intro to things at this point. Let's just dive right into it, guys. It's a free flowing conversation in response to the episode we did a couple of weeks ago. I'll just start off with this question and we'll go from there. I know we often talk about lust in men and what it looks like in men, and men are just so horny and they just want to do all these things, right? That's what we talk about all the time, right? But how does lust, for all my male viewers, how does lust impact women?
Oh man. How does lust impact women? First off, I want to start off by introducing me. I'm KB.
And I'm playing though, child.
And I think I was prepared to talk about lust in men, but I think so. When I was listening to the episode from 2 weeks ago, and you guys were discussing lust, the first thing I wanted to point out was that women are affected by lust just as much as men are affected by lust. So it's not necessary. I know you guys were saying that discussing how much men were affected by lust, and in the comments I saw some of the women saying, well, women are too. And one of the biggest misconceptions is that men are affected by lust more than women, when actually women have very strong sexual desires just like men, it's just labeled as something different. It's not labeled as lust. It's labeled as women are being seductive. Plano.
Um, I'm all the way lost, but yeah, what she said, yeah. Well, I think it's still lust for women as well.
Yeah, I think it's lust. I just think that people don't label it as lust. When you think of lust, people more so say men are lustful creatures. They're lustful by nature, but women are lustful too. And I just think it's looked more so as us as being seductive. And so that's the way it's lust for us, but the way the world see it is looked at as seduction.
Probably last or 2 weeks when they was discussing the build up towards sex. I'm thinking about the build up towards sex. That doesn't mean you have to be seductive, but you're lusting, you're in your mind, you meet this guy and you're imagining having sex with him. But you don't necessarily have to. So I guess why I can understand what you're saying.
Right.
I don't know if they always have to look like being seductive, because you can have that thought. And like I think Maurice and Martell was saying last week, by the time you get to it, it's not even you there. You like, oh man, I wanted her in a moment, or I wanted him in a moment, but now that I'm here, we're just going to lay up, and then tomorrow we're going to go home. So I think I don't know. I think lust.
Yeah, I agree. No, what I'm saying is I don't think it's a difference. I think that I do understand that there's a difference between lust and seduction, but the way the world see it, the world see lust more so in men than they do women. But when they connect lust to women, they see seduction. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying that no, women are lustful and they lust just as much as men do, and it's not necessarily a seduction thing. It's just we have those same inner sexual desires, but how the world see it, they see women as being seductive.
Yeah.
So you telling me that as women, y'all can meet a guy and be like, "Yo, I'm trying to hit that too," because I didn't know that y'all did that.
Yes.
But Marty, last week we discussed that. That there was a time where he was talking to a woman and the woman was like, "Oh, was that you?" One of you guys were like, the woman was like, "Okay, it's 11 o'clock at night. I'm here. What are we going to do? Because you're wasting my time."
Wait, women in the comments, like, where y'all at? Yes, we want to. Like, we're talking 2 weeks ago. Yes, we meet y'all and we know in the first 30 seconds. Not 30 seconds, but
no, shoot, sometimes I almost cursed because I forgot this.
Light some fires up in the comments.
Where y'all at? I almost forgot this night. ShittalkRadio.
Be free. Be
sometimes,
free.
shoot,
Be
we
free.
know when we walk past you and look at you like, dang, you look good. I'm trying to, he looked like he would do some things or mess some stuff up. Like we can look at a guy and know that.
And then you're sitting with him, chilling with him. Like you guys said, he comes over in the late night, the weird hours. He coming over past 10. Y'all watching a movie. And Maurice, you were saying you're in a space now where, I believe you said this, because y'all both were talking. I can't remember verbatimly what y'all both said, but I remember you saying that you don't necessarily have to have sex with the woman right away. But women, depending on how attractive she is to you, she could be sitting right there imagining like, damn, you look good with his lips. Damn, I like, she start y'all, feeling on each other or whatever, or she start feeling on you. I don't know. No, and she's imagining, what that thing gonna feel like inside of her, child.
Oh, okay.
Trust and believe. If she's sitting next to you and she moving a little bit closer, and she start rubbing on your leg, that's her way. She might not be the girl that Marty said, but she's definitely nothing like rubbing in your hair like this. You got good now. Why should I be rubbing on?
Yeah, I love it. So so how do y'all explain on this conversation, right? So how do y'all explain there's times where I've been with girls and I'm like, she's definitely giving me rhythm right now, and I go to make a move and I get smacked away. You know what
She
I'm saying?
lying.
Believe what KB said. She telling a
She
lie.
lying because she wants you to pull back a little bit. It's the chase. It's the make him chase me, but I really want it. But I don't want him to think it's easy, but I really do want it.
Women, if y'all in the comments, comment 100. If that's right. Like, let us know. Like, let's get some feedback, because it's just like me and KB, if y'all listen to Shit Talk Radio, we agree a lot of times. So if y'all agree in the comments, women, to what Maurice said, I think I lost my train of thought. But yeah, it's the chase. We front.
Well,
Yeah, we
Angel's in
front.
the
So a lot of
comments. Angel agree. Angel says she's just
Angel
playing
in the
hard to get.
comments, Angel Butler says she's playing hard to get. That's all it is she's playing hard to get.
Mm.
And ladies, I want to say this. Because at the end of you guys' show last week, you discussed some of the things that you can do to fight that battle against lust. Ladies, if you have no desire to be with this man and your lust is taking over and you guys are alone in a room, do not. That's what I'm talking about. It's the seduction. Don't seduce this man by rubbing all in his hair, rubbing all on his leg, and doing all that because your lustful desire is kicking in. Like, don't do that if you do not want to be with this man sexually.
Well, wait a minute. Because Martell and Maurice was saying sometimes you got to know what triggers you. So it ain't about, because you might not, there's been times when I've been in a nigga and I say in my head, no, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to have sex with this nigga, but I'm bored and he can come over, but I know I'm not going to do it to him or whatever. I don't even seduce the nigga.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't even seduce him, but he start rubbing on me. So you have to know what triggers you. You already know when he come over. You said, I think you guys said something about the you got to know when, you have that control, but you ain't really got that control. I think Marty said slow down. You either going to slow down or you going to stop. So yeah, you ain't calling him no more. You ain't being all seductive with him, but then you slowing down. You ain't really seeing him like that. But then when he come over, you don't plan on having sex with him, but he start playing in your hair. Shit. Stop playing
So
with
that's to your point, Plan'd0. So to your
right.
So Plan'd0, to the point that you was just making, my buddy Dante has a comment up right here. Does lust have to manifest? So is it a such thing as meeting a guy, not really being that attracted to him, but then like over time being like, you know what? I missed this at first. Like the gray sweatpants showing today. Like, what's up, bro?
Yeah. Well, let me say this. You ever see a guy that's not that attractive? And I know you're a man, and I know how you men are. Y'all say y'all don't look at men, but y'all know when somebody is cute and when somebody ain't. But you ever see a guy take Biggie Smalls? Like, he was not attractive. He even said to himself that he was ugly, but somehow, some kind of way, he ended up with Faith. Like, ugly guys pull nice, attractive looking women, and you have to ask yourself. Sometimes you ask yourself, well, dang it, how he end up with her, and is she really attracted to him? She may have not been attracted to him in the very beginning, but sometimes his charm, he may say something in a certain way, he may do things in a certain way. So now when you wasn't attracted to him in the beginning, and sometimes you probably didn't even date him, but his persistence of trying to talk to you, his charm, every day he see you, start pulling you in, and then before you know it, you texting him, and even when he's not texting you, or you like, hey, let's hang out, even though he's not asking you, and then before you know it, you have a sexual desire for this guy.
You like, hey, ugly.
Here she go, rubbing his head again.
So that's a good point, because one thing for me as a man, like, I'm really conscious about my pursuit of women right now, right? Because I feel like I talk to a lot of women. I think that like this subject of sexual assault and the Me Too movement and all these things have arisen over the past few years. And I think that part of the reason that there's a disconnect between men and women, because if you're looking at what the term sexual assault means, is any unwanted sexual action. So, like, the moment you say no, anything I do past that can be considered sexual assault, rape, whatever the case may be. Um, how do you draw that line? Like, I think you're cute. I want to get to know you, but you're not giving me any rhythm. But if I keep at it, eventually you might give in. But technically, that's sexual harassment, sexual assault. Like, how do
I
you
think it's
straddle
levels
that
to it.
line?
It's levels to it. If homegirl, because a lot of times you fellas be at work. It ain't, you can't keep on being persistent. You can't be all like rubbing on it. You can't rub on it at work. I'm talking about y'all kicking it. You know, you kind of figure she like you. You ask her to go on a date, and or she invites you to her house. I don't know. I don't feel like when somebody calls sexual harassment, 9 times out of 10 is even 1 out of 2 things. Either they are trying to get you in trouble, or your ass then you know you were in the wrong. You were flirting with her at the wrong place in the wrong time. She didn't give you the red light.
So let me. Now, I might just. We usually agree, but I want to disagree a little bit. I think that what Plan'd0 is saying is true, and there's some truth to it. But we also live in a cancel culture right now, and I think that part, not all, maybe like 30% of the Me Too era is in cancel culture, where people want to just cancel people and get people in trouble. I've seen um literally situations where a woman has literally gave a man every thought in his mind. She gave it to him. She was very seductive. She fed into all of the good mornings and the hellos and the, hey babies, and give me a hug, and then rubbing on the hand every morning. And because she's just naturally flirtatious, I'm gonna say that she know what she's doing, or whatever the case may be. But at the same time, like, this man is picking up on different clues. You know what I'm saying? And you compliment him everything. I mean, I'm the whole if he say something like in a flirtatious way, and you respond back in a flirtatious way, and then later on down the line, the woman may say to management, like, hey, I feel like this guy is sexual. Well, I've seen it. Working in management for a very long time, I've seen that. I've seen it firsthand. And it's really hard to differentiate sometimes when a woman is I don't know what I'm looking for, the words that I'm trying to say, but it's very, like, we women have to be very very careful what we're doing, knowing that we are seductive to the world by nature. The world sees us as seductive. So we have to be very careful in knowing what our actions are doing to someone else. And a lot of people may say, especially in the case of like rape or whatever the case may be, once a man says no, no means no. In this Me Too era, I mean, once a woman says no, no means no. But you can't get this man all riled up, have him in a room and you all rubbing all on him or whatever the case may be. I think it was somebody, I think maybe Donovan McNabb, in his situation where the girl said when she claimed Me Too against him, but she had all these text messages where she was flirting back. You know what I'm saying? And then he ended up losing his whatever he was
Yeah,
a commentator on whatever show he was
yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah.
Like, us women, we can't be out here seeing the opportunity. Today I like him, and then tomorrow I'm mad at him, so I'm gonna get him fired. Or today I like him, or I see the opportunity to sue somebody and take somebody to court and get some money out of him. Like it's just so many things that comes along with Me Too or the rape or things like that where women can cross the line. And I'm not victim shaming, so please don't come for me because I'm a woman also. But we can put ourselves in some very bad situations.
Yeah,
So
and
I want to piggyback on that. I agree 100%. But also, Maurice was saying in the beginning of the relationship, whatever it is, right? The beginning of this this situation, you need to probably ask, because I like Marcel said, I know I can hit, or maybe not. You can't probably hit, but where are we going from this? So if we have more conversations, then we won't. I feel like it'd be more easier for the man to say, even though women a lot of times had an upper hand, but hey, I thought this woman was like feeling me. Like I asked her, because for real, like she said, you could be flirtatious, but if you just have a conversation sometimes, like, hey, what are you doing? Like, are we going to be in a relationship or what? Instead of wasting time, because we can't get our hour back. So when we damn sure can't be wasting all our time flirting, and then the day you got your period on, and now I'm trying to rape you. So we have more conversation. I feel like some of it, a little bit of it could be avoided.
yeah, so I got a couple of questions. Well, I got a question here in the comments from Dante. He says, should there be a direct conversation about what each person wants? For example, after the flirts, hand rubs, tight hugs, should the man ask, yo, you giving them draws up? Is that appropriate or is that too direct?
That might be too direct. It depends on the girl.
Okay, so let's hypothetically speaking, you're in a work environment. Mm-hmm. And you coming by, you say, oh my gosh, you look beautiful this morning. You know what? I love your hair that way. I really like it when you wear that sweater. And every day she's complimenting you back. She's flirting right back at you. And you come at her with the questions. You say, hey, what do you think about going on hanging out after work? Or you say, hey, what do you think about us going on a date or whatever the case may be? It's her answer that lets you know whether you should continue flirting or not. If she says yes and she agrees to hanging out after work, or she says yes and she agrees to go out with you on a date, cool, you can continue to flirt. But if she says no, and you flirt the next morning and you compliment her the next morning in the work environment, the minute she says no and express that she's not interested, the very next thing you do can be considered harassment. So you have, as a man, you have to be careful. Like Marty said, women react. Men got to know how to respond. You have to know how to respond to whatever this woman is saying, whatever this woman is doing, to keep yourself out of trouble or not allowing your lust to get you in trouble.
Yeah, that's my good buddy Nari. He said flirting with coworkers is Russian roulette nowadays.
Yeah, that's
so like for me when I think about like I feel like I'm on the complete opposite side of like what we were just talking about, because like I'm very much like, hey, when you want to go out, I don't know. I don't talk to you ever again in life. Like that's my problem. That's why I'm single. This is why I can't settle down.
There's nothing wrong with
that. I don't push the issue, and I know that
no,
you'll see.
If a man says to me, "Hey, when you want to hang out, or when you want to go out," and I say, "I don't know," or if I say, "I'm not sure," if he says, if I'm not giving him that full effort, like he's giving me the full effort in that moment, and he doesn't call me back, I have that. Listen, I didn't give the effort, so he didn't necessarily take me as being serious. No different than if I say to a man like, "Hey, what's up? We've been talking for about a week now. We should hang out. Let's get to know each other a little more." And he's like, "Oh, I'm kind of busy. Let me see what I can do." And then I don't hear from him for a couple of days. Well, then I'm gonna think that he's really not that interested, and I'm gonna move in a different way. So I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, Reese.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it is. You have to have a balance with everything you do. When I met my ex-boyfriend, initially when he tried to crack on me, I wasn't feeling him because he was ugly, but he was so persistent. Sir,
I hate that she
ex-boyfriend,
say that.
ex-boyfriend ain't did that, child. Hey, cutie, but and he was persistent, and he kept on trying to talk to me, and eventually I gave him. So it's red. It's some red flags. I think, like, you know him. You know him.
And
You
I think
know
the
him. You don't
problem is,
always have to.
right?
I think. I'm sorry.
I
You
think
was
the problem.
talking.
I'm sorry to cut you off. My bad.
Mhm.
I think the problem is for every like person who like felt uncomfortable because you overdid it. There's somebody that you overdid it, and eventually they gave in. And I think
Yeah.
that's why the problem is like like I've had someone that I legit was kind of flirting off and on with since high school. I graduated high school in 2006, and it was like maybe like a year or two ago, and finally we connected. Like, so when
Yeah.
I look back at that, I'm like, dang, yo, like I was really on her case for like 15 plus, what I'm saying? Like 15 plus
Yeah.
years. Like, that's not okay. Like, I feel really like like, I feel like a creep about that.
Yeah.
But then, like, after 15 plus years, like, eventually she gave in. You know what I'm saying? So, like, how
Life
do
is
you
like a
find
box
that?
of
But
chocolates.
let me ask you though, Reese. Was you persistent, or did you flirt a little bit and she didn't give in, so you pulled away? And then time go by and you come back and you flirt a little bit, then you pull away. And then over time, one day she's like, you know what? He probably really is a good guy. Let me give it a chance. If you did it that way, that's okay. It's
Yeah,
okay to, you don't have to, what I meant by what I'm saying is, like, if someone isn't giving you back what you're putting out there, and you say, okay, maybe that person isn't interested, I'm gonna fall back a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that either. Now, if you want to come back every now and again and just shoot your shot, there's nothing wrong with that either. But I can understand why someone will pull away if you're not giving them the same thing.
Man, here's the trick, right? Don't say I didn't tell y'all. If you trying to holler at Shorty, right, and she's not trying to holler at you, right, pull back immediately. Act like you like somebody else.
yo, I hate
Straight
women so much. Oh my gosh, I hate women so much, man. Yo, like
We
it's
gonna
no
get into
women.
some things
I swear to goodness, yo, it's like it's no winning, man. Like I've had a
yeah.
woman before flat out tell me like I don't want to do nothing. It came over, whatever. We watched the movie. I made no attempt. The next day, I get a phone call like, "Hey, I know I told you I didn't want to do nothing, but because you didn't try to do something, now I want to do something." And I said, "I hate you. I hate women. Like I just do. Like,
Listen, you sit around me too long, we kicking it, and you too much of a gentleman is even going one is gonna turn me off, or I'm gonna be like, just gonna be trying to give it up because like, what's going on? Like, it's 6 months, sir. Are you crazy? What the hell is wrong? Got a little dick. Like, what's going on? Sure.
oh my goodness.
And once again, the woman is seductive. Once again, so this is why the world perceives women as being seductive when it connects to lust.
I just
I'm
made comments
sorry. I
up.
didn't mean to say
So you got Plando is telling facts. Somebody said she's talking truth over there.
that.
Ryan, man.
Sorry. Don't
But
pass
yeah,
the
I think
line.
that like this thing of lust is real, and I think that to something you said earlier, KB, there was like one time I legit had a young lady come over, set her alarm for the next morning, take her bra off, and like act like things was about to get heated. She was like, "Wait, you know so and so, don't you? We can't do this." Got up and left. I was like, "Yo, like that's a conversation you're supposed to have with me, like in the DMs, not
I
like
thought she
at the point of no return."
I
No,
gotta
she
get
got up and left.
caught.
Came over,
She
came
was
over. I'm
playing with
sitting
you,
here like
Reese.
that's so like but again, like in that moment, like the lustful side of me is like, no, this is BS. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you here, like we're here. You're in my bed right now. Like things are about to get heated. You set your alarm for the next morning. Like we all know what's about to happen. But then like the non-rapist side of me was like, well, she said, no, you gotta let her go. Can't be mad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So that
Respect the
goes back
lady's
to
wish.
what I was saying about us women. Stop testing a man's lust because we lust in different ways. We all lust, but we lust in different ways. Do not put this man in this predicament. And yes, no means no. But ladies, we have to be able to hold ourselves accountable for things also. No, again, I am not victim shaming, so women don't come for me. I am truly a feminist. If you really know me, you would know. But at the same time, I want to hold women accountable for our actions as well. There was no reason why. To me, that was some child shit. Like,
Wait, Reese, one question. Did you ever hit?
Nope, that was gonna be the first time.
right. So this woman is in your house. She's in your bed. I'm assuming she don't got no clothes on other than panties and a bra because ain't nobody getting in my bed with street clothes. So I'm assuming she's in your bed without no clothes on. That's number one. You already in this bed with this man. You triggered his sexual desire. Triggered his lustful nature. That's number one. Then number two, you wait until after you're in the bed, you wait till after your clothes are off to say, hey, don't you know such and such? Well, it was in your mind before you got in the bed, y'all was getting ready to get down and dirty.
Wait, KB.
So why didn't you ask him before y'all even got to that point?
Reese? Because you seem like a good dude. Did you call her a bitch when she rolled out? Because it ain't no way in the world she just got out of there and you was like, oh, well. Let us know, Reese. The audience
No,
want to know.
I did not call her not one derogatory term. I let her go because I'm not a rapist and I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to be 70 years old and she came out the blue like, you know, this one time Maurice Fresh, you know, I'm some big TV personality because all this stuff then blew up. And they like, well, you know, I came over one day and he sexually assaulted me because that's how this stuff happens, right? You
And
know what
guess
I'm
what's
saying?
going to happen? Kaybee and Plan'd0 going to talk about it again and say that this is
show your ladies that put hearts in the comments for Reese. There's some good men out there because she deserves the
and this is women saying she deserves she deserves Reese, you're a good guy, but that helper deserved a name.
You gonna get a shit talk trophy.
Yes, we don't give ourselves thanks right now. She deserved to be flushed down the drain. Flushed down.
If it make y'all feel better, I don't talk to her anymore.
I'm sorry for our I visualized everything KB was saying and what Reese was saying. She's at your house, by the way.
She about to take a brio.
But wait, can we stop right there? That means she came all the way to your house knowing that information.
Wow.
She drove or caught a bus or caught an Uber all the way to you knowing that information.
She spent her gas money. You're going to waste your gas, waste your time, just to let the guy know that she messed with such and such, or you know such and such. I could have did that on the phone. Oh, no, we can't even kick.
She actually had it in her mind that
Oh, we knocked the phone down.
Oh,
there you go.
She had in her mind that day that she was going to tell us her boo. When I get there, I'm going to tell this. Oh.
I hear y'all. Can y'all hear me? Okay.
1 second. Okay. Well,
no, cool.
She's going to know that. I mean, she knew all the way over there what she was going to do. Like, that was her goal and that was her purpose. She knew. Sis knew.
Yeah, I hear y'all. Y'all hear me still? Oh, I see it's coming back
we got
in.
disconnected.
No, y'all good. Y'all good. Y'all good. I saw the phone fall. But I do got a question here. Another question from Dante. This came in earlier, but I do want to make sure I get to it. He says, how do women ignore the lustful desire while in the man's presence?
Wait, so Dante, how does she ignore her lustful desire or the man's lustful desire? Which one?
I feel like he's asking about both.
Go in the bathroom.
Oh my God.
Y'all listening?
Oh my God, Plan'd0.
Go in the bathroom, right?
Can you hear her, Reese?
Yep.
Go in the bathroom and get in the cold shower.
She irks my soul. She irks my soul.
Like, I don't know the answer. You got what else he gonna hit?
I think in order to ignore a man's desire as a woman, you got to put yourself in that mindset that you're not attracted to that's not what you want. You got to know yourself and know that, again, if you're alone, I guess it all comes down to knowing what triggers you. And if you go to this man, you have to automatically want to know that he's going to lust after you. You're a woman, you have body parts, you just got to know that. So you have to know that it's going to be very hard for you to ignore his sexual desire for you as well. So if you know that about yourself, especially if you have a high sex drive or you are a sexual being, then you need to know that being in a place that's not a public place or not when you're not around people is more than likely that you're going to fall for his lustful desire, your lustful desire. It's just
drive different cars because Marty said I can't get his name. Marty said they ended up in a big seat, y'all.
Yeah, sexy.
You know?
Yo, I'm cracking up, man.
Stay away from I don't know how to in a lot of these situations that y'all stay away from. That's it. Look, sir. Like one of you guys were saying that you gotta start being honest with yourself and honest with people. It saves a lot of time. Look, I ain't really feeling you like that. I'm gonna be honest. You will never be able to hit, sir. So you want me to take your money? And we go on dates and shit because that's what we doing right now because you want to stay in a public place. So now I'm just using you because the nigga I really like.
No, I'm absolutely disagree. I'm talking about in the sense of ignoring your sexual desire and his. So going out on dates and being in a public place. So
I'm talking about liking him. Actually liking this guy and just.
I'm talking about just ignoring a sexual desire, period. If you know that you don't want to have sex, okay, yes, and you like this guy and you want it to be more than sex, you want this relationship to go somewhere else without sex being without sex being the foundation, and you need to ignore his lustful desire or you need to ignore yours because you're a sexual being as well, then you can't, your triggers. Don't go home with him. Like you said, don't drive in the same car. If y'all get to talking and rubbing legs and while you driving and stuff like that, before you know, you done pulled over and somewhere and doing what you need to do. At the end of the day,
so wait a minute. So yeah, okay, I agree with you, but listen, we all grown at the end of the day. Like we don't have to rush it, but if we're having a like, what are we waiting for? Just because we want to start the foundation off healthy, we can start the foundation off healthy and not put so much thought in it. Oh, I'm not trying to give it up fast, so I'm gonna meet him at the park or wherever the hell I meet him at. Sex can be done anywhere. So you just like what? Like
so how do you ignore your sexual desire? Answer the question. It's okay. So basically, are you saying it's okay for him to have the sexual desire and you to have the sexual desire, and it's okay at any given time to embrace the sexual desire? Because I was going to say that later on, but are you saying F it, stop ignoring the sexual desire and embrace it?
I'm not not saying that, but I'm saying get to know people a little bit more than what we do. We want to jump in a bed because of the lust. So I don't even like let's just get to know each other. A lot of times, if you really haven't close, how are you in that get to know you stage? How do you ignore the lustful desires?
We said it earlier, lustful desire can happen within 30 seconds of knowing a person. So how do you ignore the lustful desires in the get to know you phase?
Control.
That's all I'm saying.
But control yourself even on the couch. Because he's tired of spending money on you. Well, you don't, because you like walking in park. So I don't want you to go there. But, like, because I just, like Marty said, like, just control yourself anywhere. Start having more control over yourself. We can really have sex anywhere, I promise you. We could go to the restaurant and have sex.
Okay.
This guy.
No, but I think if I know what Dante is trying to ask, I think he's trying to say kind of what KB was putting out there, so like I like him, but I'm also sexually attracted to him. But I also recognize that sometimes, like if we're being honest, like what men usually, if you have sex with him before the relationship is defined, he's cool with that. Like whatever. Like I mean, look, if it's just gonna be a sexual relationship, it's cool. I like you a little bit more, but I'm hitting it already, so we just gonna stay in the swing. So how do you like kind of like fight that urge early on to say, okay, cool, like my ex-girlfriend legit made me wait like 90 days and was like over here till like 3, 4 in the morning, like consistently. And I would just be sitting there like, yo, man, like this
Okay,
girl
so
getting
let me
rough.
ask you a question, because a lot of people say that that's BS. Like the whole 90-day thing or making a man wait. A lot of men even say that's BS. What did that do to you as far as your sexual desire? Did it help you build a relationship with her, or did it not matter? Like Plan'd0 just said, sometimes sex just happens. So did it help you in the long run? Because a lot of people say if you don't have sex up front or right away, then it helps build a better relationship when sex isn't the foundation. What did it do for you?
It was helpful in building a foundation. I think I was able to enjoy her time a lot more, enjoy her presence a lot more. I think that our links weren't sexual centric because of that. I think that, like I appreciate her a lot more. Like we had a lot more like intimate moments that didn't involve sex. And I think that like I listened to a little bit more. But I also will say because I was genuinely interested in getting to know her, I didn't care as much about the sex. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, I think that's where it's at. You gotta really like this person, because a guy can wait 90 days, or I can make you wait 90 days. You never know. Okay,
I'm sorry. One of the comments right here said she made you wait 90 days just to end up an ex.
period. Hello.
Matter.
Come on, them comments.
Did the 90 days really matter?
I
Because
don't
for
think
all that,
the
y'all could have
time
just did
period
it,
matter.
embraced your sexual desire for each other, and just did it.
I don't think the time frame matters as much as defining, like we said earlier,
90 days.
where
Like,
this is
mark
going.
my
Like,
motherfucking calendar.
like I need to know where this is going. Any woman that I talk to, I usually would recommend her, at least if you're interested in something serious, define what he wants out the relationship before you have sex with him. Unless you just trying to hit it. But like if you like coming into it and you like, I really like this guy, I want to get to know him, make sure that he's on that same page before you have sex with him. Don't think that your sex is gonna make him want to lock you down.
And Reese, and 2 weeks ago, you said something about start putting what you want out there. People are going to run away, but start putting out there. Ladies, listen.
He said specifically, you can have, it's okay to have your standards and sticking to your standards. It may be lonely because a lot of people aren't going to agree with your standards. It may be a lonely world after that. But when you stick to your standards, the right person will come along.
Yes. So tell him what he want. If yo, what's up? Like where we gonna take this at? I ain't really looking for a girlfriend right now. Okay, I'm out. I'm looking for a boyfriend and possibly marriage. I'm pushing 50 in my Marty voice. Not really, but and, I don't got time to play.
Facts. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. There's nothing wrong with from the gate, from the door, saying, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want. But you also have to know that you got to leave some kind of space for something in there that you didn't think you wanted, or something in there that wasn't your standard, of some kind of space for it to fit in. Because sometimes God has a different plan for us than we have for ourselves. So you don't want to block your blessing because you didn't know what you needed at the end of the day. But it is definitely okay
I don't need
to have a set rule of standards for yourself.
I don't
Ooh,
need a fuck
I
buddy,
mean,
God.
Plando. I
Sorry,
got a
God. I
question
don't mean
for
to talk to
you.
you like that.
Plando, let me ask you this question. One of my comments just came in, and the guy says, I made a woman wait before. How do you respond to that? What if a dude make you wait?
Listen, I know the question was, how good do we look? Let's start with that. Okay?
Sorry, no, I'm only playing. Yeah, we're gonna kick it. We're gonna get to know each other. I am gonna be like, he ain't try. I might tell my homegirl or KB, like, yo, I really like this guy. He didn't try to have sex with me or anything. Like, and
So wait, I want to talk, because you bring up something like you're thinking like, wow, like he ain't try to have sex with me or anything. It was something that you said, Reese, in the last episode where you was talking about once you're healed, like once you are able to, like, you don't need that validation from a woman that, hey, you're handsome, hey, you're this, hey, you're that. It's so easy for you to be able to not need to act on your the lustful desire, because what it really stems from, or what it really comes from, is not having a deep love for yourself. And that's something that we actually talked about on our show when you came on the show. I was listening to a comedian, and he was saying the reason why he was able to act on his lust and sleep with so many women and be with so many women is because he wasn't healed and he didn't love himself. But once he realized that he didn't love himself, and he started becoming a healed person, and he started loving himself, now any piece of meat that wanted him couldn't get him. So he was like, I'm gonna make her wait 90 days because I don't really need her for sex anymore.
And we so fucked up that we think that he gotta try to hit a meter. If you are healed, and all jokes aside, because I'm saying a lot, but if you like okay where you are, you're not even gonna get to know him. You ain't even gonna think like if you know you like you're healed in that sex, you're not even gonna be like, oh, he didn't even have sex. That's what it's supposed to be like. Y'all supposed to get to know each other. A lot of times we be meeting each other and just want to jump up in the bed 2 days later, and it don't even be nothing or don't go nowhere. So now we got all these bonds, like get to know people. But I don't believe in all that time, 90 days, 30 days, but get to know somebody. Get to know his last name. People don't even know their last name. Talk to
Yeah,
another brother. God, get to know him.
And get
and like,
and work on yourself.
And yeah, he texting you, take you out, and then you want to be with him. Like what? We gotta slow down. It be the lust. It be mentally like fucked up for real. But
Right.
if you just wait, then you just wait, and I get to know you, and I like you a little better. I'm still human, so I might like.
But you know what though? Also, you know what though? Also, because one of the comments said she made you wait 90 days and you still an ex. But I also remember when you guys were talking about you was talking about how sometimes when you pay attention and you see all the red flags and you pay attention to the red flags before you even jump in the bed. Because Marty was saying there are children that were made out of lust. So before you jump in that bed and even make a child, or you somebody gain feelings and the other person don't, and then all of this unnecessary drama start happening afterwards, because now the girl never had any desire to be with him outside of sex, or the guy never had any desire to be with her outside of sex. Now the other person is busting windows out the car because they going crazy. You cut back on all of that unnecessary drama.
Yeah.
And guess what? If you make a person wait 90 days, you either gonna like them or you're gonna learn something about them where you like, I don't like her, or I don't like him.
And if you really have good conversations with people, they tell you everything about themselves.
Yeah,
Facts.
This guy, no lie, because I like talking on the phone. I'm not really like big on text messages. We talked about that in our show, but I like talking on the phone. And this
So
guy,
do
the
I.
way he was talking about his daughter, I don't even want to have a baby out of lust.
Mm.
The red flags is there. You ain't the baby dad for me. Have conversations with people. You know what I'm saying? You will know everything about them. And be honest with yourself. And don't ignore the red flags. A lot of times we know exactly who a person is, but we think he can change, so we're gonna wait it out, or you too lonely and you just want a nigga beside you. Yeah.
Well, that also goes into being able to be honest with yourself and realize what you're actually there for. Because if you're not healed and you don't know things about yourself, or you're not ready to face those things about yourself, then you are going to ignore those red flags. And then, like we said in the last episode, like what you're really there for is it comes from a false sense of intimacy. You're really there for when he rubbing hands through your hair, or the hugs that he may give because you didn't get hugs as a child, or whatever false sense of intimacy that this person is giving is causing you to ignore all of these red flags. But once you become a healed person and you don't need that validation anymore, there's no more false sense of intimacy, then you can see, dang, I don't like how this dude is a parent to his child. I would never lay down with him and possibly accidentally end up having a kid by him unplanned, and now I got all this baggage with
I
this
gotta
kid.
take you to child support because I knew you was gonna be a deadbeat.
You know it from the door, so you gotta get healed.
One with yourself.
Facts.
And one thing I will say, like in that 90-day period, because I wasn't that pressed about sex, in all honesty, like the most intimate thing I've ever done with a woman is hold her hands and pray for her. You talking about like a level of connection?
Yo, that's a level of intimacy.
Like,
so
if you
a lot of times we
hand,
start talking about intimacy when we automatically assume intimacy means sex. But that's a whole different type of connection and a whole nother level of intimacy. I'm gonna let you speak on
it. I'm telling you, man. So we're in this period, and like I really like this girl. Like, so, like, you know what I'm saying? It was my first. I was in like a really bad relationship. It was the first person I dated after like the bad one. Like, I'm like ready to get back out there. I had waited like a full year before I dated again. I'm like, all right, I'm good. I'm healed. I'm going to do things differently. Let's pray. And, I took her by the hands and we touched foreheads and I prayed for her. And she's sitting there crying because, like, no one's ever prayed for her before. And, like, I'm sitting there fighting back tears because it's just a connection that I experienced that was unlike anything that I've ever felt in the bedroom. Like, plain and simple. So, in that waiting period.
Shit! You got kids, Virus? The
No, I
ladies
do
want to
not.
know.
I got 2 kids, but not by her.
Reese, I'm sorry, what happened? We want the people in the comments want to know. KB want to know, Plan'd0 want to know. What the fuck happened?
I won't say anything. She's one of the
nigga praying for me. Like, what's
going on? She's one of the
that meant you
ignored
ignored some red flags, Reese.
I did. I ignored some red flags.
The girls in the comments running. Now they back to not wanting to get married again. Like, goddamn, God, the nigga prayed for me. We crying together. We waiting 90 motherfucking days.
No, but the only thing that means that she didn't want to be with him. She didn't like him, like you said, because if a woman like you, that right there, she's ready to get married.
Right. Women in the comments, let's be honest, right? If you're not mentally, because sometimes we think some things is corny, depending on where we at in life. So I want you guys to be honest in the comments. If a guy prayed for you and you wasn't really feeling them, does that mean anything to you? Or are you going to actually give him something, like, give him a chance? Or if you don't like him, you don't like him.
I was about to say, you say it all the time. If a man don't like you, he ain't gonna be there. Or if a woman,
all right, so I'm
if
gonna
a
just put
woman
this
don't
out
like
here,
a
right?
man, it ain't nothing he can do to make her stay. Or if a man don't like a woman, it ain't nothing she can do to make her stay. And that's what we gotta stop getting so caught up in. Like, we like somebody so much that we keep trying to do things and we keep doing things and we keep ignoring these signs. And I don't care what you can do, even go as far as praying for a girl. Is this the same girl recently? The one that took her clothes off and rode? Is this the same
No,
girl?
no, 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 no,
No,
no,
not them.
no.
Oh, because I was gonna flush the toilet on her again.
No. So let me. I don't want to, because I don't want to bash her. She's one of the
Okay.
sweetest human beings I've ever
I'm
met.
sorry,
Like,
I didn't mean
don't,
no. I'm playing.
yeah, I don't have nothing negative to say about her. Honestly speaking, we had very different communication styles, and when you talk about ignoring red flags, I knew that very early on. Like, I'm much more of a laid back guy, and she's much more of a like in your face communicator. So when it was time to talk about things, in particularly issues, she'd be all in my face like, "Yo, we got to da 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 da," and I'm like, "Yo, chill." And that escalates because she thinks I don't care, and I'm like legit, like I'm honestly, I'm like feeling anxiety and all these things because I don't like being yelled at. I don't like, what I'm saying, somebody being in my face. So we started to clash a lot about things like that. Um, but to KB point earlier, I saw that very early on, like very early on, within those first 90 days. One of our first arguments in particular, I was like, I can't do this. And we didn't talk for like 2 days, and then we started talking again after 2 days, and it ended up lasting a year and a half before I officially was like, I really can't do this. And that never went away. That's what we talk about, ignoring red flags. Like, that was consistently an issue throughout the relationship. She's still one of the most sweetest human beings I've ever met in my life. She's made me feel loved more than any other woman I've ever dated, but the communication piece was where the disconnect came in at. Not anything else. So I don't want y'all to bash her or
I'm
nothing
sorry.
like
I'm sorry.
that.
Man, please flush the toilet on it. Flush the toilet.
But
I'm
I would say,
joking.
like, from dating her, like, she was the first person that, like, I legit, like, was like, yo, I want to pray for you. Like, I want to be connected, not just on a physical level, not just on an emotional level, but also on a spiritual level. And once you experience that, or once I experienced that as a man, like, I'm not that pressed. Like, when I'm looking to connect with a woman, I can wait for sex because, like, I had someone else after that who I prayed for, and we didn't really talk much after that. And I felt like somebody ghosted me, or what I'm saying, one night standing and left me because I'm like, I was just naked before God with you,
So,
and
Breeze,
then we're
do
not
you pray for
talking.
every woman? Because,
No, only the ones I really like.
okay.
So guess what's happening? God is like, when you are his child, and when you come to him and he see how compassionate you are for this other person, and he realized that person doesn't have the same compassion for you, he's like, I can't let this happen to my child. I gotta get this person out of his life. If
Mm,
he sees that this person, that my child is ignoring all of these red flags, even though I've put the red flags in his face, I got to remove my child because I care about him too much to let him go through this. And
mm,
that's exactly what happened.
hmm and I'm okay with it. And I say this a lot now because it's 7.8 billion people on the planet. Everybody not going to be for you. And
Thank
like,
Thanks,
when it don't
God.
work, I'm
absolutely. I was like, amen when you said that. Yep.
like,
I'm okay with you not liking me, sir.
Absolutely.
Everybody ain't gonna like me, though, okay?
you
Gotta
all right
be
with me
okay
playing
with
though?
yourself.
And guess what? I used to think like guys always used to, when I hear guys say like, I just haven't found the right one yet. And I'll be like, well, I guarantee you that you've come across so many good women. You probably passed the right one up. Then I learned, like, no, that's not true. Just because you're a good person or a good woman or a good man doesn't mean that he or she is good for you. So,
and you gotta, and women, you gotta be okay with being a good person, and a man not liking you. Just be a good person on purpose, not because you're trying to get him to be your girlfriend. I mean, your boyfriend or your husband. Be a good person. That way, when a man is no longer in your life, you just like, okay, well, it just wasn't meant to be, and be okay with it. And then continue to be a good person. A lot of times, a man on one is we were so nice to him. We just doing stuff just because we're trying to buy his relationship. We're not really doing it because we want to do it. We're not doing it from the heart. So therefore, we get in another situation. Now we bitter. Now we're not even that same nice person. You gotta be okay with everybody not gonna be for you. Sometimes it just this. Sometimes people come into your life for seasons, and it it helps you grow or become the person that you're supposed to become. So be okay with the breakup.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So
And
there's
to
a
that
few
point,
things.
Plando, let me respond to what you
There's a
said
few
real quick.
things that.
So to that point, like I think that there are times where we are unfortunate victims of someone else's growth process, right? Like God, like you don't got nothing to do with it. Like God might be trying to teach that other person a lesson, and you're just a vehicle in which that person has to learn a lesson.
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that
Amen.
oftentimes we end up in bad situations, and it's not nothing that you did wrong. And we leave them, we think, what did I do wrong? It's nothing that you did wrong. God wasn't even trying to teach you nothing. He was trying to teach the girl something, or she was trying to teach the guy something, and you just so happened to be the person that he was using for that person to learn the lesson. So
come on now.
there's a growth in everything. There's a learning situation in everything, and that's why I think as I'm older now, it's easier for me to like I talk about my ex. It's easy for me to say like, no, I don't want to talk badly about her. A few years ago, I might have been like, man, F that B, da, 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 like she might have been everything out of the world. But now I'm like, look, like it didn't work out. Everybody, not for everybody. Best of luck, sweetheart. Keep
Yeah,
it
me
pushing.
too.
You know what
I'm
I'm
at a
saying?
point now. Not every guy is a good guy, but sometimes they hurt. My ex, he was good to me, but we
The
wasn't
ugly one?
the ugly one. Good guy. I wish him the best of luck. We wasn't. It was just a chapter in life, and you sometimes you don't always gotta walk away bitter. You could just be okay with being a vehicle for them, so to get you to the next step. You don't have to be that person that even a man. Even a lot of times when men are good guys, they meet so many bad girls that they no longer want to be a good guy. They want to. Then they changing because they so used to meeting the wrong people. Be a good person because of you, not for nobody else.
And then you'll just naturally start attracting what you are, and the right person will come.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like that's all it is,
And
man.
if
And
nobody don't come, because I'm a good girl. If I had to die alone, like my man, what's the boy name? Samuel. If I gotta die alone with a dog, I got questions for you, God. I ain't even gonna lie. Like I was trying to trick the good people. Never mind.
but I think, no, but I think
I'm
another
joking.
issue, right? So I think when we get into relationships, right? Like if you were my girlfriend playing though, I'm not committing to who you are as of August 25th, 2021. I'm committed to the idea of you. I'm committed to growing with you, going through seasons of life with you. So like the person that I am today, I don't plan on being that person 10 years from now. So I can't just love who you are today. You can't just be in love with someone for who they are today. You got to be committed to the idea, relearning that person.
So
Lord forbid, you know what I'm saying? Like you go outside, we in Philly. Lord forbid you go outside and get shot and I'm paralyzed. Now you gonna leave me because I can't walk no more? Like that's you got
Right.
to go through that season of life with me. You know what I'm saying? Like so,
Amen.
I think that when you get into a relationship with someone, you got to think more about okay, like I like who she is today, but what path is she going on? Like, can we grow together? Can we build together? That's why for me, communication is so key. Like, if we can't communicate, then we can't
We can't do
grow.
nothing.
Right.
and now I want to bring it back into lust, because I feel like we probably got a little bit off track because the conversation was good, but then I want to bring it back into lust, and that's why from the door, You gotta be able to separate yourself or control, or whatever case it may be, control your lustful nature or control your sexual desires, or infatuation, or whatever the case may be, because instead of knowing and realizing that this person may not be the same person 10 years from now, you're just lusting off of what you see and what you're getting in this moment. 10 years from now, if that person isn't what he or she was when you met them, it's going to be hard for that relationship to last.
It's gonna be hard anyway, because now I'm waking up next to your ugly ass, and you was cute when I met you. So you think I'm about to? I still look good. I don't know what the hell happened in your fat ass. I want to play it.
Oh my gosh!
I just want to make you laugh a little bit.
I had hair 10 years ago. I'm bald as
You look good. You look good with your bald head.
Don't flirt with me. It's like, no, I'm joking. I'm joking too. No, I got a question, another question for Dante. Shout out to Dante for the questions coming in. He did say, do you feel as though a male praying for you would enhance your lust for him?
Enhance my lust? Absolutely not. That's going to make me. That's gonna build a whole different level of intimacy. That's.
I don't know. It might. It's a thin line between lust and love. So it might. Now I'm like, that never happened to me before. So now I'm like, especially if he look good. Yeah, it might.
Yeah, he did say that.
I never been a guy. These studs haven't prayed for me yet. I don't know.
I'm cracking up, man.
I want to keep it as real as possible.
And he has another one here. He said, "Do you feel as though lust has replaced the emotional connection in modern relationships?"
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
when do the lust end?
That's what I was going to ask.
Well, you guys talked in the last episode that like you were saying, was lust and addiction the same thing? You guys talked about people having strong sexual desires and just being sexual people. I think the lust ends when you can understand that lust and addiction isn't the same. Lust and love isn't the same. And being able to realize within yourself, like, how do you, if you have an addiction, or if you are a lustful person, or an obsessive person, and once you can confront those things and knowing and understanding the difference between all of them, for you, that's when the lust will end. For someone else, I don't know.
I think that healing, to answer the question, I think that healing is so key to combat lust, and I think that I can't say it up enough. Like, when you've gotten to a point, like, 'cause I feel like we use sex oftentimes to mask over so many feelings of inadequacy. I don't feel like I'm cute enough. I don't feel like I make enough money. I think I might be ugly. My mom wasn't there for me. My dad wasn't there for me. So I'm just going to jump in the bedroom, because I know for this, depending on who it is, 5 to minutes to an hour, depending on who you lay down with, for this period of time, like, we are connected. Like, I know I look good, and all these other things, like, we're connected, and all those inadequacies don't matter. But just like when you take like too many shots, like, you feel good in the moment, the next day all that stuff comes back. So
my J don't work like that, because I'll be lusting for the guy, but then when we laying down, I'm like, why am I here?
And that's
she
what
ain't said. She's not even getting better. I'll be starting thinking like, man, this guy gotta get off me. Like, I know this grown. It's just how I work. I don't know about it. It be before it be even if it.
Well, that goes back to talking about, like Reese was saying, that false sense of intimacy. Like, what you was actually there for is not your sexual desire, and you think it's your sexual desire because lust or sex has taken place of the emotional connection that you're supposed to have in a relationship, in modern relationships. So now, if you're healed, you no longer need that validation, and you don't have to wake up like, why am I here?
Yeah, it be 2 minutes after you pumping. Why am I here? I ain't talked to this nigga in 3 months. Why is he in this with Jay? Get him out.
Yeah, man. I think horniness and loneliness are big issues too, and that could probably be a whole another episode about just loneliness and horniness and the dumb things that it makes you do.
Well,
Lustfully.
doesn't horniness and loneliness come from, well, not loneliness, but doesn't horniness within your loneliness come from lusting?
I was thinking that too.
All right, because
It's
sometimes
like
it can just be a
cousins.
while for me though, because like if it's been enough time, everybody start to look a little bit better.
Yeah, because you're lusting.
But again,
That lust will have somebody looking pretty, and then again you end up 3 months later, you ain't been with her sexually, you bring her to your crib, and you're watching TV, she rubbing you on your head. Don't rub me on my head, Plan'd0. Don't do it. She rubbing you on your head, you know your head is bald, and she giving you all the compliments that you like. She's Stewart. Not watching it. I don't know if y'all watching, but this girl is getting on my nerves.
so anybody watching, I don't think their video is on, but I know y'all can see me, and I'm just cracking up. When I swear, when y'all see the YouTube video, I'm dying this whole time over here. See, I'm rolling.
But she's giving you all of that false sense of intimacy, and here you go again. 3 months later, here you go again, because you remember what she was like before. Your lustful nature started kicking in.
Mm,
Once you're healed,
mm,
that's not going to happen anymore.
True.
mm. And like
Yeah.
I feel like we spent a lot of this episode bashing sex. I do want to put it out there that sex is like great, and I think that when used
Absolutely.
in the proper context, when used with a same level of communication and understanding, like it's a great thing. Like I remember, I'm a Denver Broncos fan. They won a Super Bowl in 2016. I remember being super hyped that they won the Super Bowl. I called my girlfriend. I said, I'm coming over because the Broncos won. Get my favorite alcohol out because we having fun tonight. Like that was my way of celebrating because I was hyped and excited. And I got to share that moment with my girlfriend at the time. So I think that there are times where it can be used in that context, right?
Yeah, of
Um,
course it's good. Sex is good.
but she got real close to the camera for that one.
Sex is good.
Take it.
I just want to you said you got some advice, and once a year you text your buddy and tell him thank you for the advice. And um you talk about how many times a couple should have sex in the same household a week. I just wanted to
Uh,
ask you what what is, because
you
you
want to
talked
know how
about
many
your
times I want to have sex?
ex. Yes. Huh?
You want to know how many times I would want to have sex in a week?
Yeah, how many times a person had a conversation? Because you're
It,
more you're communicating more. So at the beginning of you conversing with a young lady, you saying how many times a week do you think is a good enough time so that you can already know before you get in if she's trying to have sex with you once a week or 7 times a week, so that you.
right. Yeah, I think that that's cool. I ain't fitting to put my number
So
out
if
there.
she's answered one time a week, are you? What you say?
Yeah, I mean, if it's one time a week, I think you just gotta know your drive, right? So like, if I know I have a really high sex drive, and this girl's like, yeah, I only want to have sex one time a week, you're asking yourself to get into like a situation that's going to be bad because you're going to be wanting the whole lot, and she's going to be like, I'm good with one time. So I think that it's fair to want to be with someone whose sex drive matches yours. Um, because if you're with someone and they have like a hyper sex drive and you're just kind of like chill, then, or if you're just a busy person like who just doesn't have as much time, like before COVID hit, there would be some weeks where like legit Monday through Sunday I would be doing something after work. I wasn't trying to have sex on those weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm doing something Monday through Thursday after work, then I'm with my kids Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm not thinking, oh man, let's have sex. You know what I'm saying? So I think that that's a fair conversation to have early on because you're not trying to be with somebody that's like trying to get it in all the time, and you like, oh man, like I'm late for work because you trying to get a quickie, and I got to drive in 76 traffic in the morning, so I know I need to get out on time. But you try and get a quickie every morning, like so. I think that it's okay to look for somebody whose drive matches yours.
And one other question before I forget. On our podcast, we also talked about lust, and we asked, was it okay to? Do you remember the question, KB? It was like, is it okay for your husband? Is it okay for healthy lust? Is healthy lust possible? Because we had married couples who said that their husbands still lust over them at times, but it's like in a healthy way. I can't remember because I'm not reading the comments, but do you believe that there's a balance with lust, or lust is just bad altogether?
No, no, no. I think you absolutely have to do this stuff in the confines of a relationship that you did when you were pursuing that person. It's like you absolutely need to be sitting like, hey, I'm thinking about you. Hey, I really like you. Hey, I can't wait to get that tonight. Oh, you looking sexy. Even if you're, especially if you like out at like an event, let's say you're at like a wedding reception or something like that. You're like, yo, I can't wait to get you home tonight. Little things like that are great. And I think that that's what keeps couples happy and that's what keeps outsiders out. Like nobody like you be talking about hitting it every night leading up to the relationship. You get into a relationship, I'm like, yo, I'm trying to hit it tonight. You like, I ain't trying to be next to your nasty ass. Yeah, I'm like, how do we get here? Like that's not what I signed up for. I signed up for the flirting and the lusting and the playfulness and the me sneaking a grab on your butt. You know what I'm saying? While we out and about. That's the stuff that I think you should it's necessary in the confines of a relationship.
Yeah.
So my phone is actually getting ready to die, but I do want to talk about one thing before we go. One of the things you said in the last episode was if a fire is used correctly, there's benefits from it, and it can be a beautiful thing. But if it's left untouched, it can burn things down. So if you're looking at lust in the terms of it being the fire, if you use it correctly, in within your relationship, it can be a beautiful thing. But if you leave that lust to wander and just grow and grow and grow and fester, then it can burn this whole relationship down. So yes, can there be positive? Can positivity come from out of lusting after your partner? Yes, but don't let that lust for your partner grow into lust. How you Plando likes to say, how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you just make sure you don't let that lust grow from lusting after your partner to lusting after the woman next to you to then before you know it, you ain't put that fire out and lusting took over your life and now you lusting after people and you cheating. So if you
Mhm.
can control your lust and have it for just your partner, absolutely it can be a beautiful
And it's
You
just
knocked
like
that.
that.
You knocked out the fire. All right, before your phone die, Keith, tell the people how they can find y'all.
thing. So that's usually Plando's thing. Plando, tell them how they can find us.
Y'all motherfuckers can find us. I know. All right, no, sorry. I'm joking. Just wanted to go out like that. But no. You guys can follow us on Instagram at shit talk underscore. That's shit talk underscore. Once you follow us on Instagram, click the link in the bio. You will be able to listen to our podcast. You can also follow us on Facebook at Shit Talk Radio, Kaybee and Plan'd0. That's Shit Talk Radio and Kaybee and Plan'd0. Make sure you like us, comment, and go listen to Shit Talk Radio, yo.
Yeah, man, like this is great. I can't wait to chop this up and post clips this week. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with that.
Oh
um,
yeah.
and look, man, I'm excited. I'm one of my homies is probably gonna reach out to y'all about coming on, so don't be surprised when he does. And
Early.
This was
We
great.
going.
I'm really glad that y'all came on. I'm glad that your phone is dying too, Keish, because I got to go pick somebody up from the airport soon. So
You gonna hit tonight? Don't answer that. Don't
I
answer
am
that.
not.
Don't answer that. Don't answer that. Don't answer that. Gotta go. And we gonna end it just like
All right, y'all have a great day, man. Thank y'all for
that.
joining.
Oh,